Well, there's like, so basically there were 3 teams that were made entirely of Koreans, and they fucking dominated everybody for a long time. But then the advantage that the Korean teams had is that of just how seriously they take games, right? So they were just on another level. But this is a 40-game season, and then as the season went on and everyone's like actually taking it seriously, everybody caught up. So one of those Korean teams who was like supposed to be far and away better than everybody didn't even make the playoffs.
They just got worn down basically when everyone else started pulling their weight.
Yeah, basically they didn't put the work in to stay ahead.
Laziness.
And now the number one team, which is New York Excelsior, they dominated the first 3 stages. So it's broken up into like 4 stages. Each stage is 10 matches, and like they were already locked into the playoffs after the 3rd stage. They were something like 27-3 or something after the first stage, and then they just kind of coasted and didn't care. But like now they're just looking really bad. So like it's interesting that the 2 best teams going in may not even, one of them didn't make the playoffs at all. There's one Korean team that's in the finals, but the other one might just get stomped by the 6th seed team.
I'll teach them.
I mean, you fucking put in the practice, you can get there.
Yeah.
So, Mike, a couple things.
Yep.
With Uza. Number one, it is not that relevant at the moment, but I'm currently looking at your sheet right now.
Yep.
Hold on. Let me tap you some stuff real quick.
I need to delete. Oh, I need to get rid of pull polymorph off of there. He doesn't have that.
You're fine. I'm not like, it's not a huge deal. I need to know
fucking problem.
at some point, probably not this session. I'm leaving the details of your companion that was with you up to you, because that may or may not be relevant later. I actually don't know yet.
Well, it actually one of the probably the first things I'm going to try and do is to complete my original quest.
Yeah.
Not with the intent being having my own personal stake in that now. I mean, it's been years, so I'm expecting that. Well, a rescue is beyond. But no, I really didn't have any. Essentially that we were traveling with was a wizard, a wizard who specialized in illusion magics, and then a series of other bards, performers with varying specialties. Usually, drums or just something different to mix up the crew.
Okay. I mean, I can throw somebody together. It's not a big deal. I just didn't know if it was, since it's your origin.
No, I didn't have anything specific in mind.
Okay. Sounds good. Do you want to, because I sent you basically all that backstory, do you want to keep that to yourself, or do you want me to go over basically what happened to you with other people around?
We can roleplay it.
Okay.
I mean, somebody, if at whatever point I show up, I'm guessing somebody's going to ask me questions about, the fuck are you? Have you seen a skinny, gaunt guy? Do you work for Strahd, damn you?
Nah, we'll just never acknowledge you're there. We'll never speak to you.
Okay.
Hey, can I have a portion of the loot? Who are you?
Why are you following me?
Hold on. I have to.
Can't you see I'm trying to eat my friend?
Where's this background music coming
We've been
from?
friends for years. You were the best man at my wedding. You're like, I don't remember any of that actually. Are you sure we've met?
We're great friends.
Okay. Everybody here? Everybody ready to roll here?
Yeah.
Okay. If you want to record, you can.
Yep, already streaming.
Okay. Hey, everybody. Where we last left our heroes, tragedy. After dealing with the giant tree and getting your butt kicked by Strahd, you guys had tried to make your way over to the city of Kresk. Unfortunately, the city of Kresk no-sirred you. They didn't let you in. the only thing that they would have allowed you to come in for would have been wine, which the only wine that was left you already had delivered to Valaki for your room and board. That kind of left you guys stuck because you hadn't yet done, you hadn't yet found all those gems. You guys stopped in the winery just to stay the night, kind of recoup, figure out where your next step was. And Beishra got a vision in his dreams of a bargain. The hag sent a message to him in his dreams saying that Avril needed to go. And in return, he would get a year's supply of that youth potion that he had snagged from them earlier. You guys said fuck that and went to beat them up.
We're so noble.
No, it wasn't a bad thing because it is pretty reasonable to think that if he had turned that down, that they would go back to haunting your dreams again. So it was reasonable to think that like you had to deal with them sooner or later. You guys ended up traveling there, and you actually circumvented the town of Valaki entirely because you guys left having smuggled Irina into the church.
Yep.
So, and currently,
Is Mike trying
she
to
is
talk?
staying.
Nope.
Oh, where did you? Oh yeah, you guys took her. She's currently helping out at the winery. That's where she is right now. But you guys didn't want to go back into Valaki, so you ended up going to the windmill, where, unfortunately, tragedy. You ended up killing one of the daughters of the main hag, and it cost you Avril's life. His throat was slashed open. And when Avril died, they left. Morgantha looked at you, Beishra, and said the deal is sealed and disappeared.
Ominous.
And you guys burned down the windmill. The children are still with you, terrified. And as you guys burned down the windmill, that is where we left the session. We do need to do a bit of backtracking, though, because a new player has entered the arena. How do you pronounce your name? Mike. How do you pronounce your character? Mike!
Son of a bitch! You haven't heard any of my witty quips. You said a new player has entered, and I said the minions of Diablo grow stronger, making a reference to fuck you. Fuck you!
Okay, is that Uza?
Anyway,
or Alza?
yes.
Uza.
Uzi.
Okay.
Gross.
So, this leads us to get us to here. First, we need to talk about Uza. I don't have your hometown yet. I don't even know for sure if you're from the same plane of existence that they are.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you are. I think you're actually from a different plane than I don't have written down yet. But what I do know is that you were a bard, and you had a troop with you. It was like, as you mentioned, you had an illusionist wizard and 2 other bards. Now, would you guys have just kind of been traveling minstrels, or would you have a specific goal in mind as you adventured?
No. We didn't really have any a clear goal initially, besides essentially touring.
Okay, sounds good.
At least not that I knew. I wasn't the one who led the troop.
I gotcha. Would that have been the wizard, or would that have been one of the other ones?
That would have been the wizard.
Okay.
He essentially serves the double role of Have you ever watched Penny Dreadful?
Nope.
No,
Yes.
Essentially, the role of sort of the guy who would be up on stage, giving like the introducing all the acts and things like that, and is also would be the one who hypes it and who also organizes it and is basically the jack of all trades that holds the whole thing together.
So he's your producer, manager, and leader. Got it.
Yep, plus special effects.
Okay, Mike, you had heard in the past several weeks, your group had heard of an increase in werewolf attacks near your hometown. Let me bust this out. Werewolves in the mist. You'd heard those dreaded words spoken again and again by farmers, merchants, and adventurers alike. The hamlets east of your hometown had fallen prey to a pack of werewolves that spilled out of the forest on nights of the full moon, cloaked in crawling mists that seemed to follow them wherever they go. The beasts spread death and mayhem, slaughtering adults and stealing children before retreating back into the woods. Others had tried to combat the werewolf menace with little success. You guys were approached one day as you were just traveling by this guy.
It's a dumb name.
He is just the epitome of sleaze. Look at him.
Oh, that's my portrait.
He
You sleaze.
He came up to you, distressed. He said he was frantic. He told you that they had gotten his beautiful boy. Your wizard was the leader and therefore more of your party face. It asked him what happened, and he told you about the werewolf menace. He asked if you guys had tried to stop it. That wasn't usually your thing, but this guy, he struck a nerve, especially with your wizard. It just, where normally this wasn't, I mean, if it would be different for you, but this wasn't like adventuring and dungeon clearing and that sort of thing. That wasn't really what you guys did. But he asked you guys if you could help. If you were...
No, we're the type to basically request payment, but no, we're going to do it anyway.
Yeah, well, he actually offered you guys... he offered if you could bring the werewolves to justice that murdered his son, he offered you guys a bounty of 400 gold. Which was actually a pretty significant amount, and didn't seem to make sense with the way the guy looked, right? You didn't know that he was a Vistani at the time. Little spoiler, but he's a Vistani.
I have soon learned the ways of racism.
But he didn't look like he would have it. But when they asked, one of your other bards asked how he had that much money, and he said he's been saving it. He had been trying to get his son away from the nomadic life and let him settle down somewhere. And the story seemed good enough that why are you interrogating a grieving man? You know.
Yep.
You guys had set out. He told you the direction that he saw the tracks lead away to. But as you guys had entered the woods, the woods darkened as the trees began to close ranks, the needle-covered arms interlocking to blot out the sun. The shroud of mist that covered the ground turned into creeping walls of gray fog that silently enveloped you until you couldn't see any more than a few feet in any direction. And then soon, even the werewolf tracks disappeared. You guys remember the intro. You remember those gates that you saw?
Yeah, they were really nice and really neglected.
Mm-hmm. Mike, you guys end up walking through those same style of gates on the other side. Let me take you guys to
the big map.
The big map. You guys came in through a gate over here.
All the way over there.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, but they came in near Kresk. The bastards.
Yes, they did. Your party quickly realized that this wasn't. You're a lot more magically inclined. Your wizard caught on that you may not be in the same place. But especially because you guys were travelers. You traveled, as kind of your thing, and it's like, this is not where this leads. There's something wrong. It's not like you were on a road and it was an unfamiliar road. It's suddenly we're in a place that doesn't exist.
Not in Kansas anymore.
Yeah. Given that it was the case, you guys continued on the road, and you went to Kresk. Hold on a second. Bringing up my notes. You guys came in probably about midday. And you found this walled city. And the same thing happened that happened to this party. You were refused entry. They said, no, go away.
A very bizarre thing for what, at least in the lands that I'm from.
At the time, you didn't know there was anything weird. And you didn't know why they gave you this disdainful look. A man came up, the burgomaster, and he said, no, we don't let your kind in here. Which originally you took as intense racism.
Uh-huh.
That was about booze. So much booze.
No, he said, you're nothing but trouble.
Yep.
And your wizard said, please, we're lost. Is there anything we can do to gain entrance? We need a place to stay. And he mentioned, if you want to prove your worth, there have been werewolves in the surrounding area.
That makes sense, because now we know that, hey, we're in the right place then.
Mm-hmm.
2 birds, 1 stone.
He mentioned that he would allow you entrance 1 werewolf head per person. Now this, you guys didn't really know where to start, and he didn't really give you a lot of information. He said, we don't know where they come from. We just know that we stay in these walls. Now, I kind of told you basically what would have happened. Would you have just gone along with your troop, or would you have had specific questions for him at the time?
No. Honestly, his lingering paranoia, I would assume, is related to. Okay, so since we went, is it okay if I have some rudimentary baseline understanding of just conceptually what a werewolf is? It's a human being that turns into a wolf, and that's all I know. Okay,
yep.
Yeah, in that case, my honest opinion would be, well, of course they don't like strangers. They're dealing with werewolves. For all they know, we might be the werewolves. And we can't very well turn in our own heads, so that's a good system.
Not with that attitude.
Fuck you.
Yeah. Now he abruptly left. The guards kind of took almost looks of, like, pity on you. Like, those you poor folks. One of your companions, not the same one from the end, began asking the guards, where do these werewolves come from? And the only thing you got was north. But he mentioned somewhere north in this valley, but Barovia is a frightening place. I would avoid wandering if you don't know where you are.
Think nothing of it. Wandering is what we do.
And then
Well,
they all died.
Then they all die.
Very quickly, you guys realize, well, we're in a different place. That was the first confirmation that you're somewhere that you don't know. You walked past this crossroads and saw a sign for something that said Vallaki, which is a town that you hadn't seen. So you end up walking there. Hold on 1 second. You actually had a random encounter on the way there. Let me tell you what it was.
T-Rexes.
Oh, God.
You encounter a few hill giants. How many? Hold on, let me roll. 12. That was a recurring problem in my old games. I would announce that you encounter in the monsters manual. It would have a die roll, like how many you found, and then a descriptor: singular, few, a group, a throng, whatever it was. And invariably, every time I would announce something, I'd roll max, and so it would make my previous announcement look ridiculous. It's, you run into a few trolls. How many? One. Hey? But usually it was the other direction. You'd run into a few or a couple, which turned into like 12 to 20.
You're a bad man.
I'm a sad man.
Now you guys remember? Okay, that's cool. You guys remember that skeletal rider?
Yeah.
Just walked past you.
He
You
was
guys
cool.
saw that too.
Nice.
Just a skeletal warhorse and a rider, clad in ruined chainmail. And he's holding up a rusted lantern that shed no light. That was the first indication that, like, what the fuck?
Yep.
Because up until this point, you guys had no idea.
Yep.
Now, would you guys have engaged it, or would you have hidden, or what would you have done?
No, we'd probably have behaved much the same way our party here did.
Just kind of like
Which
freezing
is-
up.
That's horrifying. We'd probably have assumed, like, combat positions. But if this thing just walks by, we'd just be very, very confused. Probably assume it was either, like, perhaps a wandering spirit living out its final days, like that kind of, like, repeating the things that led it to death.
Yeah.
But, like, a variation of a ghost or something like that. Make mental notes that the woods are fucking horrifying, and then move on.
Yeah, so you guys had ended up following this path all the way to Valaki. Now, most of the folks there were the same thing. At the time you were there, it was in the middle. In a couple days, in about 5 days, was another festival from the Burgomaster. This has been an ongoing tradition.
This is before the current Burgomaster got slow roasted by his son, yes?
Although
yeah,
our
this
wizard
was-
did have a chance to talk to one of the royalty. He taught him some interesting spell work, including how to defend a door. No, not really. No.
So you guys ended up asking around in Valaki, and Valaki got you two things. One, you guys got a map, and
Nice.
finally realized that this is not. You're in a different place entirely.
This doesn't fit. It doesn't connect to any of the points in the immediate area that we're familiar with.
Right. You guys ended up spending actually a full day in Valaki, before you finally realized that. This is not anywhere. This is its own land. People talked about a cursed land. You guys didn't get the full story from anyone, but you put the pieces together that whatever happened with the werewolves, you are somewhere else. After asking around enough, you were told that the werewolf's den is to the northwest of Lake Baratok, specifically right up here. Do you see that little circle? That black circle?
Yeah, I see it.
Yep. Mike, do you see what I'm pinging?
Yeah.
Michael motorcycle.
Mother of God, I was muted. Sorry.
Why?
I'm eating,
Why?
I'm
Stop
eating
muting
spaghetti.
yourself.
Spaghetti cereal?
Yes. Sorry.
You know,
yes,
you
I
should
s-
just like train yourself to push to talk instead.
Yeah.
I probably should.
Um,
But yes.
So, you guys had the idea of maybe you should stay in Valaki, but your original quest was to rid the place of werewolves. One of your party members decided maybe we're caught in an accursed land because of those werewolves, and if we kill some, maybe that'll release the curse that's keeping us trapped here. In any case, this is what we were paid to do, so we should set out to do it.
I'm fine with that.
So, away to the den you went. You guys were not prepared for this. You guys, among you, had one silver dagger. No one else had magical weapons. No one else had
sorry.
silvered weapons. You didn't know what you were getting yourselves into. At the
Nope.
time, you were you are all third level.
Mhm.
So, but just because you're like an appropriate level to fight one of these things, if you don't have the tool,
Yep.
like you guys have all run against these things, they can be very bad.
Yeah.
You guys came up to the entrance to that cave. The open jaws of the wolf's head formed a 15-foot high canopy of rock over the cave mouth, held up by natural pillars of rock. The ceiling
pretty
rose
metal.
to a height of 20 feet inside the cave, and torches and iron brackets lined the walls. As you approached, there was a lone human just standing at alert on the outside, who roared and ran at you. As they ran, they muscles stretched. You heard the snapping of sinew, hair spurted out. They grew and turned into a monstrous werewolf on sight. It was actually pretty damn terrifying. And caught you guys off guard enough that your normal tactics would have been to have the wizard back up, keep his distance, use illusions. But he got caught flat-footed, and he got fucking torn up.
This was a couple of years ago, so we were playing an older edition.
Yeah. He got torn up. He actually died within about 2 rounds. Just because this thing was up in his face. And the rest
Sounds
of you
about
tried
right.
attacking it with weapons, and they were ineffective. They did nothing. By the time you realized that the only weapon that was that dagger that would hurt it, by the time you realized that he was dead,
Yeah,
the fight continued. Magic started being the only method of attack. You guys lost another party member. You took some wounds. Your friend took some wounds. You finally took the damn thing down. But at such a great cost. Both your wizard and one of your bard friends are dead.
And then you realize it has buddies in the cave.
That's the funny thing. You had planned to carry your comrades back. But first, if you wanted to get into that village, you couldn't. If you left here, you wouldn't have any way to prove your deed you'd done. You at least needed something to show for. So, one of you took to the grisly work of removing this vile thing's head with the only blade you had that would actually do anything to it, while the other began composing themselves, grabbing their effects, trying to figure out how you carry your 2 friends back, perhaps using their cloaks to wrap them up.
Should have got a cart.
We do
And
have a
you get the one thing's head off, and
We
you're
did
talking about who's going to carry which person.
I was gonna
and
say
then
we would have had a cart just for our caravan and supplies, but I mean
That's fair. Yeah, so you were loading people up onto you were loading them onto the cart while your friend was cutting the head off. And then you heard a howl from inside the cavern, followed by several more. And you heard the loud padding of the echoes of feet. More than 2-legged creatures, that padding, running that you would hear from like a pack of dogs or something, coming from inside the cavern. You guys were hurt, and you barely survived one of these things. And there was no way you were outrunning them. Not the way you were. Not really knowing the woods. You guys kind of resigned yourselves to die. Your companion had a different idea. You are an Azamar. Azamar have the limited ability to fly. It says you can still fly. You need to get out of here. Your initial reaction, I assume, would be like, I'm not leaving you, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's a difference though between I would be I would be extremely hesitant to leave. It would honestly probably just be a matter of the second I see fucking multiple of these things, I'm just fucking going straight up. Because after a point, even if I went straight up and tried to throw some healing magic down, forget it. There's no If I was to imagine how this was going to go down, I would probably have gone airborne, and then attempted to keep him alive until I realized that I'm not helping at all, at all. And I'm
Yeah,
just
so
gonna
he said he says you have the only chance to get away. You have to run, and you basically tell him, "No, I'll stay with you. We can do this." Until you see 5 of them come out.
Did I win?
He
Well,
screams.
survival is a win.
You have the head. He says, "Take the head. Run now."
Yeah.
You grab the thing, and just with a heavy heart, you take off. You only get a minute of flying, and these things seem to be relatively fast.
Yep.
So you need a head start. And as I mentioned, and this is all stuff I typed out to Mike, but it's interesting to put it to you guys.
I'm loving this, honestly.
You didn't hear him die. You didn't watch him die.
Got it.
But the sound of magic only lasted maybe about 6 to 12 seconds. And then all you heard was snarls.
Oof.
Can't believe
As
Mike's a
you-
werewolf.
As you fled, you started losing altitude. Your wings, which normally bear you up into the sky and infuse you with radiant power, wilted away.
I hate this place.
Came crashing down into the ground a good distance away and look up to see dreadful skeletal wings in the place of your normal ones.
I want to go home.
Ooza.
In future, you actually try this again later on, but it seems that you no longer can infuse yourself with that divine power. It's twisted, warped. Instead of applying a effect of flight and divine power, instead you project fear. Your eyes turn into pools of darkness. You frighten all around you. Are infused with necrotic energy instead. You don't know why, you don't know how, but you know it's this place. You walk the rest of the way to Kresk, present the head. The guards don't seem surprised that you're by yourself. In fact, they seem surprised to see just you at all. However, a deal is a deal. You were let in. You learned all the information that I messaged in your 2 years that you were there.
Mm-hmm.
You became a member of the city. Now you don't have your own cottage, and most nights, unless someone allows you to sleep with them, which would happen occasionally if it was cold enough, or if there was rain or lots of snow, people would allow you to sleep on the floor in there.
Given my propensity towards charisma, I would say my best option would be either relying on people being nice or relying on people
Being a man whore.
There you go.
Okay. Both of those help. You end up learning a little bit about the people here, although you're always seen as an outsider. Always.
Yep.
You fit in here. It's a lot easier to be here than it is to be, because you've considered in Vallaki, but Vallaki, it's never really sat right with you. Everyone there, you visit, of course.
No, to me, a genuine smile is what I work for. I enjoy that on people. That's creepy.
Yeah, Vallaki's just forced smiles. The Burgomaster, he's thrown, in the interim, in the 2 years, he's thrown actual dozens of festivals, all to ward away the Devil Strahd. As you've come to learn over these past 2 years, this is a cursed land. It is a land removed in some way from the rest of the world. And your group was brought here for some reason.
Yeah, that's another quick Cliff Notes just for the DM. Yeah, that's pretty high on my fucking priority list. I don't think I could survive the trip to find the Vistani on my own. But, I've got questions for them. Especially since, having had years to reflect back on it, your kid was taken, huh? So you know he's meat by now, right? Like, the gradual cynicism of the world around me has made me a little more than a little suspicious about that request.
So, in the interim, you could have looked for the Vistani. You would have actually been able to find them if you would have. But now I know that you say you don't want to travel because all of your friends perished when you were out. But you would have braved the roads occasionally, right?
Yes and no. I would say I will, but only during periods where it's absolutely necessary. Because again, the biggest problem is where am I going to go? I don't care much for Valaki. And Barovia is only a city in that people live there. Like,
Call that living.
Yeah. To me, and the bigger problem is how far I can go was ever constrained by how far I can go and get back before nightfall.
Yeah, fuck nighttime in this place. I don't blame you.
Anyway, but more than anything else, his ultimate goal is still to get out of here.
Yeah.
And it's his hope that if at some point he can manage to complete this, what he was sent here to do, maybe the wizard was right. Maybe if he can complete that task, he'll be given an exit. Since we're so close to the Misty border, at some point he would have tried to pass through it.
Okay. None of you guys ever tested that.
Nope.
Let me pull
Nope.
up.
Nope.
I don't think anyone's ever got close enough to be near the border other than when we first
No.
came in.
Yep.
So, when you try to walk into the fog, so the way the module puts it, I know is not really as satisfying, but you felt at first when you walk in, it just feels thick. It feels like you're pushing almost into something solid. But as you work your way through it, it more than envelops you. It envelops your thoughts. It envelops your mind. It's suffocating. You feel the weight of helplessness. You feel tiny, mortal, insignificant. All of your greatest fears and anxieties feel amplified when you're in here. Hope feels like a distant memory. As you struggle through it, you begin to choke and cough as though something is in your lungs. You draw in breaths and it feels like you get no air. You collapse down to the ground and keep crawling, trying desperately to claw your way through to break out. After maybe
a million years?
Maybe.
Hello?
The suspense is killing me.
After the literal progression of 1,000 years, you wake up.
Did AJ die?
Get AJ?
Dramatic pause. God, God damn
I
it.
mean, the paws that killed Mike's team were very dramatic.
Oh,
those
baby,
are those
they
are
were.
claws and jaws, not quite paws.
They
Those
had
paws.
paws.
What the fuck? Hold on. Hello?
Right.
He's alive.
Hello.
Yeah, my connection was dumb. You, what feels like years or decades, your sense of time just warps and distorts. But finally, you pull yourself through, and you're in the same place you stepped in, despite having never turned around.
That's horrifying.
You didn't try it again.
Nope.
That is awful.
Yeah. Something is keeping you here. You don't know what or how or why. You've
Yeah.
heard. Now you've heard that the Vistani have a camp outside of Valaki. Would you have tried to go there in the interim?
Outside of Valaki?
Mm-hmm.
No, not by myself. If we're being set up, then me walking into there is just as likely to get me killed. I
Okay.
would have wanted to, but correct me if I'm wrong, but if I were to try and enlist the locals in approaching the Vistani, they would respond with either incredible superstition or the propensity to, like, fear or anger is the two responses I would anticipate.
So basically, you guys got information mostly off of your human wizard. You had, I haven't figured out your party's makeup yet, but you had a human wizard, probably an elvish bard. Your companion, who I think was, not sure what race they would be, probably a half elf. And then you. The only ones that could really get information was the half elf because they could pass, and the human. Everybody else kind of looked at you guys with total disdain. And now that you're by yourself, you find it really hard to get information out of people. You find it really hard to have anybody give you the time of day. Now you've worked your time here. It's taken you a long time to build trust with the citizens of Krez. That's how so much time got away from you, right? It was just such a daily struggle just to get by, just to have interaction with people. And outside is where your friends fell, and it's so scary here that a week turned into a month, turned into 2 months. You've held on to these goals, these objectives of yours, but at this
One
point,
day.
it's been years. Yeah. Now, interestingly enough, you were sleeping when the party showed up, right?
Mhm.
But you heard the rumors the next day. Another group of adventurers coming in. They were turned away just like the others.
Oh, wait a minute. Avril announced that we were going off seeking hags' heads. Did I catch wind of that?
That was, yes, but they didn't. That wasn't what happened. What happened was, they said they're going to get themselves killed over at the windmill.
Okay. Honestly, the reason I specifically asked for that,
Yeah, you don't want
that's
to
gonna
have
that's
that
gonna
information.
no, that's gonna strike a chord with me. No, I have absolutely no desire to watch another group of people walk in here and get wholesale butchered because all they wanted was a place to stay and they got sent to basically their deaths. That the fact that whether or not these people are just paranoid or not changes little in the fact that they're essentially feeding the damn monsters rather than letting anybody come in, which is fairly important. That, to me, is worth risking a trip through, risking a walk through the woods.
Okay.
So how many random encounters did he encounter on the way to us and die?
That's
All
what I'm
of
checking right
them.
now.
Listen, no one will ever top my cousin Kevin's survival rate.
Is
He had a
this the
character,
one- the
yeah,
one immediately. Oh yeah, go on.
instant death right out of the gate.
It's actually pretty quick to get to them when you're traveling by yourself. You can get there in a couple hours, even though it's
Or the
pretty far
village.
across the map.
Okay, cool. No, that would be the plan, is to go after them, and hopefully I can catch them before they, well, run into a hag's camp and, you know, lose some of their party.
Rods appear.
You did actually get a random encounter too.
Oh shit!
Yeah, 10 Strahds appeared.
Hey guys, give me 1 second, hold on.
No. You see, there's 8 Strahds and 2 obsessive compulsive looking clerics.
Yes, that makes sense.
Does it?
Yeah. Does it not make sense to you, Derek?
Does anything ever make sense?
Yes.
Barovia, yes. In the sense that none of it makes sense because it's Barovia. Therefore, it makes sense.
Oh.
Barovian cream pies.
I'm gonna crater you.
Quit changing your volume. It keeps going up and down.
Me?
Yes.
Yes.
That's weird. I'm not changing anything.
Don't lie.
No, I'm not.
I mean, that's been happening to everybody. I've been having to adjust it. Like, Mike was very quiet, so now he's all the way up to 200%. I can finally hear him.
Oh god, you're gonna deafen yourself doing that.
One
Well, that's
day.
just how Mike is.
Yeah.
Like, I've had him in max forever because he's just really quiet.
I have Mike at 121%. I actually have Jake at 72. Derek, you're at, I haven't changed you yet, and AJ is at 80. I could probably bump him up a little bit.
I've been changing mics a bunch, so I'm like an idiot.
There we go, 90%. That ought to be better.
One
Okay.
except for Mike up to 100%, and then adjust my mic volume. Or my headset volume.
I'm here.
I'm here!
I'm here!
Fuck you.
Oh, New York evened it up.
But,
Right.
but are you
Um,
queer and should we get used to it?
So,
I'm here, I'm queer, but don't get used to it, because I'm leaving you.
ooh, that's appropriate.
Is he fighting dire wolves?
No.
Damn it.
Oh god, is it actual werewolves?
No.
I at least
it's
have
actually-
a horse, so I have a chance of outrunning it. Actually, that's about...
It's the
about
werewolf of your wizard.
Oh god.
Why is that on the table? Why is that on the table? The werewolf of a deceased wizard friend. Anyway, no, the wizard died first. He got eviscerated.
Yeah, you got fucked.
It was one of the other bard buddies who left
Yep.
behind.
Bard von
The one you
Bartenstein.
abandoned.
I'll never forget him.
He plays you a sad song on your intestines as he eats you alive.
I bet one of them was named Bartleby.
I bet one of them was named Scoops.
They were
Please.
all named Scoops.
The Scoop Troop?
No, that's actually no. This isn't that bad. You just as you were walking, your eye spotted a leather-wrapped bundle hidden in the underbrush.
Is it that damn moth thing again?
Honestly, if I saw any signs of life, movement, am I worried there's a kid in there?
I don't see anything that would indicate anything out of the ordinary.
Okay. Well, I'll admit, it's not wise, but I'm curious to a somewhat dangerous degree. I would probably dismount and move over towards it. How close or how big is it?
Maybe like a small little leather bundle you could fit on your lap.
Okay.
Eat it!
I would I would definitely draw my my rapier and just kind of see if I can peel away the bits of leather, get a look at what's inside.
The bundle contains a set of common clothes, sized for a human adult.
I'd probably let out a breath. I was genuinely expecting Nightmare and Horror before I would pick them up and get ready to add them to my bag. Free stuff, yo.
Ragamuffin.
And then you turn around and see the naked werewolf behind you.
You pick the bundle up, and something drops out of it, it's tucked in between the pile. And it looks like a chunk of some sort of flesh.
Ha!
That'll buff right out.
I'd probably recoil in momentary fucking horror, but then, assuming, like, I get a moment to compose myself, I'd lean a little closer and poke at it. I want to know what that is. Not literally poke at it, I just want to...
Do you want to make a survival check?
Please.
Oh, dear.
Please, Nat 20 this. Nat 20 this, please. You have a +3, that ain't bad.
This is not any meat you've ever seen.
Is it... Doesn't even look like human?
Would you recognize human meat on sight?
Well, now that I've watched my friends get eviscerated, I'd say that's pretty well burned into my memory.
How many kinds of meat does anyone recognize on site?
No, because pork looks different from like beef, which looks different from.
Yeah, it definitely looks human.
Oh God. Okay.
We have a very neat and meticulous killer here. Okay. Wonderful.
No, I'm honest. I briefly entertained the idea of
making a snack for the road.
This is not the first time I've had to wash some of the gross off of an outfit. It's like, just, again, free shit's free shit, and this place is expensive. But I'll be honest, that's a bit much for me. I think I might just put the clothing back on top of it and move away.
Scoot it back into the bushes where it belongs.
Bury it. Maybe you'll get a nice tree.
You're a bad person.
It'll come out fully clothed.
Hold on. A little bit of out of game. What the fuck is chromium?
Chrome has like it's Chrome's core essentially. Chromium is like the engine that runs Chrome. It's supposed to be super lightweight, but it's also kind of bullshit. So fuck it.
Yeah, can I uninstall it? Because it keeps fucking...
Because Chrome will keep reinstalling it and slapping that shit on your start bar.
It's annoying. Okay.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
I don't have chromium in my shit.
No, and once I got rid of it, it finally like went the fuck away. I have no idea what I did, but I uninstalled that and tried to get rid of it like a half dozen times.
I've never had this chromium thing. What the hell have you been updating?
No, it was on my computer when I bought it.
No idea
So
what you're
sorry.
talking about.
Anyway, sorry. It just keeps like throwing shit at me over and over again. But okay. That's the only encounter you came up to. However, as you're approaching where the window was, you see puffs of smoke rising up from where it was.
And hear loud crying.
Yeah, I'd switch to a fucking full gallop at this point.
But not your horse.
No, not again.
Back to the party.
Rosalind is
Avril.
basically just
Avril's
giving
dead.
CPR on Avril until either the party pulls her off, or her hands get tired.
Just so you know, his neck got slashed open.
Yeah, I would have stopped you immediately. A torn jugular is a torn jugular. He had about 6 seconds.
She's not thinking clearly at
I like
all.
to imagine Beishra just leans in and goes, Rosalind, you're just drying out the meat.
Gotta make Avril jerk.
All right, Rosalind. In that case, you were covered in Avril's blood.
Okay.
Cool.
In that case, she'd probably be like holding his throat, trying to keep the blood in. And I forgot about not really CPR, just holding the blood in as best she can until
What
Beishra
blood? It's on the ground.
Exactly.
Yeah,
She's not thinking straight. She's just trying to keep it in. She's hoping she can still save him, even if I know it's a lost cause.
I gotcha. It's funny because from your perspective, it looks like it's working because the blood stops coming out.
Because there's just no more blood.
because his heart stopped. It's not pumping anymore.
This is
I'm a big fleshy water balloon at this point.
It's gonna be okay, Avril. Everything's gonna be okay. Just stroke his hair. It's gonna be okay. Just rocking back and forth. Shh,
You guys
it's gonna be
stay
okay.
on alert. You guys end up lighting the place on fire after looting as much as you can. We went over last time what was in this place, right?
I believe I wrote it down.
Probably.
shit. Let me see here.
Did
you type
yeah.
it down, or did you
6
say
pieces
it?
of, I wrote it in the
Here we
community
go.
money bag / wagon inventory.
There we go.
Okay.
Pieces of cheap jewelry, my lustrous black gem, and my black sack made of stitched flesh.
Oh yeah, all the hag bag stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is gonna be awful.
There's a heartstone too that we have no idea what it does.
The fuck?
Okay.
What?
You
Don't-
guys.
don't do that.
So, yeah, was there anything you guys wanted to do before you burned this place down?
I've already got what I needed out of this place.
Probably set all the animals
Yeah,
free.
a dead Avril.
Yeah.
Okay.
There were a lot of weird animals in there to set free.
Some
Yeah,
they
there
were
were-
keeping the chickens.
There were toads and chickens and.
You really should put them down. It's for their own good.
They'll find a way.
Okay, you guys let a bunch of. You guys let a bunch of animals go.
They were polymorph
Um,
children.
That's better than keeping them in there to burn alive.
Speaking of, you have these two undressed kids with you who
Yeah.
threw on misfitting clothes from the giant pile next to them.
Oh, what are we? Oh.
What do you want to do with them?
Oh, I don't know.
We gotta lead them back somewhere, but
Rosalind is in no shape to deal with children at the moment.
Yeah, you're covered in gore and Avril.
I'm gonna take off Beishra's cloak that he has on, and I'm gonna fucking roll up Avril. I'm gonna throw him over my shoulder like a fireman carry.
Oh,
Okay.
now he made a burrito.
The kids aren't talking. They haven't stopped staring at what was Avril.
Hyacinth's probably the same.
Just keep it. Avril promised them as this bastion of hope, "Don't worry, I'll keep you safe," and then died.
Fine. Leave it to the lizard to go talk to the children.
No, if you guys, if
must
none of you have it
understand,
in you to
all
talk
your
to
limbs
them,
are still
like,
attached.
you don't
Therefore,
have it
life
in
is
you.
as good as it can be. Sorry,
Like-
go ahead.
it is fine. Like,
Nah, if Avril thought it was important, Beishra's gotta at least give an attempt.
Oh, did I ever get the common clothes back from Irina? Or is she still wearing them?
them.
Alright.
yeah, she's wearing this.
It's not like leaving a party member in a fucking RPG where you take everything they're wearing.
No, it's like when you abandon a party member in RPG and they take everything and you can't get it back ever.
Oh, that's the fucking worst.
That's the worst. You died with all of my items, you bastard.
Mm-hmm.
So the
Are we ready for this?
Oh yeah, I got rid of the maid's clothes, so I removed that from my inventory. Seeing if I had any extra pairs in my inventory to switch out to, because
what are you doing with the hag's body? Are you burning it?
Beishra, food.
I am actually considering taking your heart, but I was gonna wait till you guys like left or something. Cause
I'm giving you full permission to kill that bitch. Murder, just like eviscerate her corpse. Defile it any way you can.
Ooh.
I will shoot the children a look and say cover their vision. I'm gonna take the heart for a snack later.
Alright,
Yeah.
I will.
Yeah, I'll help block that.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, you dig in to this this hag.
Hey, if I'm looting, I'm getting the snack too. Damn it, full buffet.
Her innards are putrid.
That's disappointing.
Yeah, this is not a human. You're not really sure looking on the inside how this thing actually functions, because it has basically all the organs that you would expect a thing to have, but they all have this like foul odor to them and have dark, discolored parts, and it doesn't look like this thing should be alive. Should have ever been.
I'm just like picturing like.
So
you know how
basically,
they-
just rotten
smoker's
ichor from the
lung?
start. Yeah, that's
like
horrible.
Smoker's lung, just on everything.
Yeah, that's actually pretty close.
Ugh.
If that's the case, once I see that, I'm just gonna wipe off my fucking claws on whatever clothing it had and just throw it. I'm just gonna kick the body into the fire. I'm not even gonna pick it up. Just gonna roll it with my foot.
Okay.
That's
You
a
throw-
waste.
You burn this fucking thing. All the while, you guys have been on the lookout for these things to pop back up, but it's been long enough at this point that they're probably gone. Uza, change your display name. Stop it.
Sorry.
You always yell at me to do it.
But anyway, before we do anything else, because damn it, I'm making an attempt.
Talking
With
to the
Avril.
kids.
Yes, with Avril still rolled up on my shoulder. I'm making no attempt to hide this. To Beishra, that is not Avril anymore. It's just a hunk of meat that other people care about, but it's not Avril. I'm just gonna like just crouch down, try to get as close to eye level as I can, and say, "Follow us if you want. We're going somewhere where there's fewer monsters, or don't." That's literally all he's saying.
Make a
Handle animal
persuasion.
check. Oh.
Animal handling.
Okay.
That's
your
not what I expect.
Oh no! Here's the thing: your persuasion had to pretty much be like a 5 or lower. These kids cling to your legs because you're the only one that's actually interacting with them. So at this point, like monster or not, you actually talk to them. So now you have like they're actually holding on to you.
Daddy Beishra. Grandpappy Beishra.
He is.
They're lightweight. They don't really impede you.
I would imagine. I am freaking a tower of flesh compared to these kids, and they're probably malnourished, so...
Don't feed them
You're
Avril.
flesh in general.
Uza, you start riding up to see the following scene. There's a windmill. Pieces of it falling off as it burns to the ground. You see,
Hell. Fuck.
you start to take off at a faster trot. You guys see. What does Uza look like?
Hopefully not a skeleton on a horse.
Yeah, it has a complexion. It's similar enough to the Vistani, but with a lighter shade of hair. Kind of think like a dark sort of bronzish tan skin, but still having kind of like the more like angelic type golden yellow hair.
Surfer, got it.
Exactly.
Yeah!
A little less leathery, but yeah.
No, that's Beishra.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Christ.
Yeah, if I approach, I'm immediately scanning the group. I want to know what I'm trying to assess what just happened.
Defensive positions.
I see. Yep.
Yeah, you guys see this thing riding up. This looks like a human, but there's something a little off about them. They must be some different type of race, although they look humanoid. Riding on, what does your mount look like?
The mount itself is actually a purely white horse. The mane has tints of silver.
Okay.
Fucking Shadowfax, got it.
Yeah, so this bronzed-looking dude coming up on Shadowfax starts riding up towards you. You see this group take defensive
Did
positions.
you actually just call it Shadowfax? It has a name.
I don't know what you're talking
They
about.
don't know. They don't know its name.
Well, you said Shadowfax.
I'm using that as a description.
God damn it! Don't do that. That'll become a thing.
I don't know what Shadowfax is. I'm so confused.
Shadowfax is Gandalf's horse. It's pure white.
Chrysor?
Chrysor.
Chrysor. Okay, so you come riding up on Chrysor.
Chrysler?
Mike, I have to give you a sheet for that, huh? What does it have the stats of?
Warhorse.
Warhorse.
The lord of all horses.
Vampire spawn.
Yeah.
Strahd.
Alright,
I am the god of warhorse.
He rides a Strahd.
Oh, it's like an awful Skyrim mod, just using a person's model for a horse. That's what I'd do if I had a horse.
I just want you to be writing the zine now, talking about the goddamn the Sky Quarter constantly, or whatever the fuck.
It's a big
hold on,
horse.
I'm just trying to get it.
Oh, baby.
Get stuff out of the compendium and
It's gonna eat me. Horses are already terrifying. Kill it.
How are horses terrifying?
Their legs are fingers.
Have you never seen a horse whip someone around by the neck?
Have you ever looked at a horse's face?
I've ridden a horse before.
They look like demons.
I look like a demon.
Have you ever seen a horse just fucking like eat a chicken? I have.
Well, I've eaten
I
chickens
like the cow
too,
dude.
so
How the fuck do I get this thing into? How do I get this thing? Mike, do you have the monster manual on here?
Yeah.
How do I get stuff from the compendium into a sheet?
Oh,
make sure you have every other sheet closed before you do this. Open the sheet, drag it into that one sheet. Because if you have multiple windows open, you will turn every single one of them into a fucking horse.
mm-hmm.
Alright, so hold on.
Fucking face.
I have to have everything closed. And then I need to
Open the character sheet, or open a new character sheet and then drag the horse onto it.
add character. And then I need to go to compendium.
I replaced Matthias's character sheet with a giant shark before. It was horrible.
I don't know how to do this. So I'm going to... So I go to the sheet, right? And then I do this. That didn't do anything. How the fuck? So wait a minute. So I have to have a character sheet open. So I have a character sheet open. And then I go to the compendium and I take the monster. Where do I drag it to?
Anywhere onto the sheet.
It should give you a little tooltip that says accepting drop from compendium or something.
Hold on. Instead, I'm just like putting infinite war horses on this map as I desperately try to. There it goes.
This, yeah, it can't
Me
be
and the
open in a
Armada.
pop-out window. It has to be in the just not pop
I
out.
got you. I got you. Okay, so edit.
To be fair, if I was gonna summon an army of
How
something,
do I spell it? Chrysor, Chrysor.
let me hold on. The exact spelling is. I'll paste it in chat. Yeah, I think you had it right.
Okay. And then.
You're not wrong though, You're not wrong, man.
You should be able to change values on that. Since it's your sheet, Mike.
Cool. All right.
It's gonna look like a monster instead of like a character sheet.
No, that's totally fine.
Okay. If I need to just give it like a character sheet and like just
No, no,
type in a bunch of values. Okay. You see the following scene as you ride up. They see you barreling down the road, and they take defensive positions. You see a lizard man,
I can shoot you right off your horse.
an actual man, an actual lizard person, which you've actually never seen before, carrying a bleeding sack with two children clinging on his legs.
I'm so glad we let you handle the children. Somebody holding like some energy blade, energy like scythe in their hand. It's a scythe, right?
You
No,
use,
right now it's just a sword.
That's a sword. Okay. Somebody wielding a sword of pure energy, and
A balding lady and
Covered in
My
somebody
clothes were black and white.
This person just wearing totally blood-soaked clothes.
Now they're black, pink, and red.
Carrying. You could carry what? A short sword?
Short sword, yeah.
Yeah.
And I have daggers on the side.
And they all are taking defensive positions, but they're not attacking you.
they
You
match the
strongly
description of
suspect
the
that this is
people
the
at the
group
gate?
you were looking for.
I mean, I imagine the lizard man is a pretty significant tell.
Yeah. Also, these kids are holding on to him. He's not holding them.
Yeah. No, that's what I mean. So, okay, if this is definitely them, I would ride up.
Who are you?
Hail, hail! You know, stand down.
Who are you?
I've come to help.
Come too late to help.
Bitter.
Now she cries. She's not bitter towards you, she's bitter at the situation and
No,
crying.
no.
Why she says that. It's more like, you've come too late to help, ball. And then ugly cry and all that. I'm not gonna roleplay the crying. I'm horrible at it, so I'm not gonna do it.
That's all right.
Thank you.
No, I would. I see that. Is everyone all right?
Mostly.
Yeah.
I'm gonna quickly assess the vertical members of the party for injuries. I
am
I might have missed the battle, but I'm no stranger to healing magics. Perhaps I can be of assistance still.
Can you bring back the dead?
It would be very not beneficial to me right now, so no.
Oof. Yeah, that question actually hurts a little bit. I'm afraid not. My powers with the healing arts are more borrowed than something I've truly mastered, as some of the greater priests have. You're not from here, right?
No.
No.
We're prisoners in this godforsaken land.
Well, we have that in common. My name is Uza.
Beshra.
And
Rosalind.
that's all we need to know.
Yeah, I was planning on being the last one to identify myself, but then...
I think it's fitting to have this awkward pause here. Everyone's like on edge for this shit.
Yeah.
I'm Heisen.
I'm leaving this up to you. You guys
Who's making the
roleplay
fire
this
in
as
the
much as
thing?
you want. That'd be me.
Nice.
This thing's burning.
Well, I would
The saddest looking fire.
It doesn't
Quickly,
really
I would
work
dismount.
very well.
I'm gonna dismount and Uza steps take some somewhat tentative steps forward. And he says, "Is the danger past? Have you slain who you came here to slay?"
We killed one, but the other two we haven't seen them for a while.
To what?
Hags.
Werewolves?
Witches.
Oh. I see.
Hags and
What do you think
rags.
about hags? These hags specifically. Did I know
was that?
anything about this lighthouse?
They were...
No, the windmill, sorry.
I'd probably explain the situation, that they were making pies, possibly made out of children, to make people forget about their daily woes.
Now that's something
Basically
that
put them in a catatonic stupor.
That's something I did they ever come by any of the cities that I was in?
They were never allowed into. One time, a lady came up pushing a cart up to Krezk, and she was turned away.
Well, I don't know if that would be significant enough for me to take note of.
Yeah,
Especially
you didn't
because
venture out very much.
yeah, creepy
So-
old lady who gets turned away at the gate. It's like you just walked here by yourself. No, you can't come in. You're creepy and you're old. Why aren't you dead?
You're not wrong.
Yeah, that wouldn't have been significant to me. I would say, real witches, huh? That's no mean feat.
Change shape, conjure lightning, disappear. It didn't save one of them.
At this point, the little bit of the awkward I'm kind of rolling with, because Uza's he wants to kind of explain what drove him all the way out here, but he doesn't know how to follow this up. He thought he'd get here either before or after, just to find a pile of butchered bodies. So the fact that it's neither means he goes,
fuck, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do?
It's right in the middle.
Well...
Why does your volume keep getting lower, Mike?
I'm gonna say, well, if you've, the fire looks like it's been burning for a little while, I assume. Are you suspicious that they'll return?
They can disappear. You never know.
Agreed.
I was hoping they would, so we could kill the rest.
I feel like they're not going to be done with us.
I would say, well, I meant what I said. I'd like to help.
I'm gonna look down at the kids on my legs and say, look them over if you can.
I will do that.
They don't, like, unless you physically separate them from your legs, Beshra, they shimmy around your legs as you approaches.
Aww.
Unlike my previous incarnation, dealing with children is sort of part of the day-to-day of what I do. I'm going to do what I can to at least calm them down. If it looks like at least the youngest one might be susceptible to it, just perform some very simple tricks, producing like a flower from nothing, that sort of thing.
Make a performance.
If it helps,
I
I'll
want to
say if
roll
he
on that
tries
one.
anything out of hand, kill him. This is Beshra being supportive of kids. Nicely rolled, man.
We're gonna roll a 1d3.
Oh
How many
no.
poops they take?
Whatever
Only
you
one
do,
poops.
skulls come out.
No, neither of the kids detach from legs, but they let you, like, touch them.
Okay.
This works. I don't need them bleeding out on me or something.
As I'm doing this, I would probably also look up to the enormous lizard person, who I'm still not quite sure isn't going to eat me. And
I have a sack full of meat. I don't gotta worry about you.
no,
It's not a
I'm
matter
still
of if, it's more when.
I'm still trying to insinuate myself into this group. So I'd kind of, as I'm checking them over, and say, I'm actually fairly good with some feats of sleight of hand, which is useful in a place like this. How long have you been here?
How long has it been? Like a week or something?
About a week, yeah.
Yeah.
So much shit has gone down in a week.
Yeah.
And remember, you guys still have dinner this evening.
Oh.
So am I going to be sitting at the table going, I'm Avril now?
I assumed you guys just aren't going to go. Like,
I don't. A lot of plans went out the window with Avril dying.
Listen, if you have any respect for Avril, you will keep your dinner reservations.
We will prop his body up.
Weekend at Avril.
And at Bernie's.
Weekend at Bernie's.
I got mage hand. I can puppet him.
God damn it.
okay.
Did you just die already?
No! I'm gonna live on the edge despite all of you.
Ooh, I can actually use my disguise kit to make you look like Avril.
No god.
Beshra?
Yes!
And then make Uza to look like Beshra.
We'll just make the kids. We'll stack the kids on top of each other, and they'll be.
Rosalind.
So specifically, when you look at the children, they're overweight and simultaneously malnutritioned.
Weird.
Well, malnutrition is different than malnourished.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. If they're just eating nothing but shit to make them fatter.
Yeah.
They're getting plumped up, not fed.
Plumped up, not pumped up.
Yeah.
But
No
given
gains.
that, they seem unharmed. They have like little bruises and scratches on them, but that seems more from whatever environment.
And plenty of psychological scars.
Oh yeah. But there's not enough wine left in fucking all of Barovia for that.
Well, there's not enough wine left in Barovia for anything.
It's true.
If there was, Aver wouldn't have died.
It turns out that the reason Strahd was behind this was because he really feels like people drink too much and he's just trying to help.
What kind of straight edge bullshit is this?
He tried to copyright the blood of Barovia for, the actual blood.
He feels that if more people just drank blood, the world would be a better place. He's like a vegan, but with vampirism.
Oh god.
Anyway, so you guys, what is your plan? You have this new person.
I'm gonna flat out ask him why. I'm gonna flat out ask this dude why he just freaking rolled out here in the middle of. It's night right now, isn't it?
No, it's
It'd be early.
because you guys left in the morning
Oh,
from the
okay.
winery, so it's probably about mid-afternoon at this point.
I'm gonna ask if there's any freaking good Samaritans left in this place to come riding to a burning building in Barovia.
I've seen this once before. You're not the first troop to be turned away from the gates of Kresk. My group suffered worse casualties. So you ask if there are good Samaritans in Barovia still? Well, there were.
Well,
That was 2 years ago.
there's at least one still.
Oh, making them all blush.
Or I guess two because of the horse.
Oh, making the horse blush.
Oh yes.
Gonna fuck that horse later.
Oh no, I can't take that from you.
Actually, no, you would probably get a genuine smile out of that. And he goes, that's something else this place is devoid of. Well, if you're familiar with this land already, I've very little more I can tell you. I do have plans to escape, though, I'm genuinely uncertain of how feasible that is. Still,
What is this plan?
it's clear that your group has fared significantly better than mine.
For the moment. I'm so.
I mean, look, as far as like deaths over time, if we graph it, I think they've had one death per week, and you have had one death, or you've had three
This
deaths
is why no one
in
trusts statistics.
2 years. So really,
Obviously, you're unfamiliar with the high-stakes game that is regular shows at the smallest theater in town. You think this game's got a high body count? You should try performing every Tuesday.
To be fair, people always die. They're just not part of your group.
Yeah.
Exactly.
okay. So you guys,
Yeah.
have a. This is starting to.
Drag?
No, the flames are starting to die down. Most of this windmill's burned down at this point.
Yeah, at this point, I would say this is not the best place in the world to hold a prolonged conversation. I have some concept of what they do at the gates of Kresk, in that they're sometimes willing to make exceptions and let people in, but only if that person is willing to do something for the city. Usually, a task so impossible they just anticipate you die.
Yeah, they wanted
and I would say,
they wanted wine from us, but that ship has literally sailed.
why? What happened to the wine?
It's all in Wallaki.
All of it?
All of it. The rest was contaminated by druids.
You know this, by the way, Mike. You don't know why the wine stopped, but you do know that you guys haven't gotten a shipment in a while.
Oh, disappointing.
So,
Trying to,
I could
trying
drink.
to entertain people in a city when they're in a city like this when they are not a few drinks in. You think they're bitter and sour now? Ugh. Well, that is disappointing. Unfortunately, I don't know of anything offhand that would get you into Krezk. Perhaps we could go to Vallaki. I've not been there.
No,
Well, not
We-
recently.
not happening.
That place.
Why?
We just
welcome
escaped
there.
from Vallaki.
Did you ever meet a man named Isaac?
Was he there when I was there last?
You guys didn't run into him.
The burgomaster's dead. His son's dead. His wife is currently insane. And they currently have a militaristic leader standing in.
Did you ever hear stories of a man with a monster's arm? That's running Vallaki now.
We took the thing he's obsessed about, and we are keeping her safe.
Thing he's obsessed about? Whatever. I don't need to know.
Things are complicated around here.
Damn. Shit, do I know of any other cities? There's Barovia, but that doesn't count.
No way into
No.
that. Do you know a way into that weird wizard tower?
There's a wizard's tower?
Yes.
Yeah, up on the lake. Don't touch it.
Okay. I will not touch it. Well, I happen to have, I might happen to know a way to get us into Krezk. You see, one of the other issues that creatures of the night that they have issues with is werewolves, as it turns out.
Oh, good.
The price of admission is a werewolf head per person.
I'm gonna look down at the two kids on my legs and briefly entertain the thought of having a 2-for-1 deal.
Perhaps the Hag's Head might buy them passage into the city?
Doesn't it just look like a normal old lady's head? Don't think we
Well,
murdered an old lady.
Oh no, hags.
We killed the daughter, who
Hags?
looked monstrous but still humanoid.
Yeah, so hags have like a human form, and then basically when shit goes down, they like transform into like snarling monsters.
So I'm gonna
Well,
assume the
we
daughters
put-
were constantly in combat form, right?
Yeah,
Us around, all right.
Except
yeah.
we burned the one we had.
Yeah, she is charcoal right now, friend.
Did you guys tell him that Avril died?
That was the whole point. No, you wouldn't have burned the head. We talked about that before.
Yeah, I was crying. Rosalind was crying about it, and she
No.
mentioned it.
Before, like,
Oh, right.
last session, that was the whole point. We told them we'd go deal with the hags, and we'd bring them, like, their heads back instead. Because that was the whole point. Otherwise, we just come back and go, we did it.
Oh, I
Did
missed
what?
that.
I forgot about that. Sorry. Yeah. I would have saved the head and probably handed it off to someone else so it's not dripping blood on children.
Yeah, you need a trophy, right?
I need a snack, not a trophy.
You guys have a hag's head.
Why aren't you Karen?
That's fine. You have a hag's head. You have
Yeah.
I
you
mean,
have a hag's head and bloody sack of Avril.
We should
So-
probably find a proper place to
alternatively,
put him to
we
rest.
could always... so maybe you're not welcome, but I could always walk them back into, Vallaki. They may not be I might not be overly fond of the place, but that doesn't mean that I can't at least take the children inside. Perhaps there's a church that might give them shelter, or
The church is protected. The priest might take them in.
He's a good person.
all right. Does that sound like a plan for you guys? And we'll get to keep the hag's head to boot.
It sounds good to me, but I'm gonna look down to the kids and ask them.
They don't talk. They're still even basically an hour and a half afterward are just traumatized. They're not talking to you at all.
Well, before. Sorry.
I'm gonna keep speaking to them a little calmly, just detailing the bones of a holy man to keep away the monsters. It might be the only place in Barovia that's actually safe for them.
Yeah, I would actually, if I can, I would kind of, I would crouch down, and rather than,
It's not really a lie if I believe it at the moment.
No, I'm not going to try to lie to them and just say, like, churches are holy places, and while I was just kind of, as best as I can do to kind of, my character's probably better with kids than I am as a person, but, if not, what I would use is, put just a little bit of magic to throw down a little minor illusion of a chapel with stone walls, brightly lit inside, just a little tiny diagram with little people, and try to make it look like an appealing place, especially a sanctuary for kids that have been fucking really, really thrown to the wolves.
No, you were thrown to the wolves.
So you're doing a minor illusion of, like, a chapel with...
Yeah, like a little mock, like a little diagram that just, like, takes up the floor. I want to make it look like a happy place.
Okay.
That being said, it's as best as I can manage from memory, and while still having it look brightly lit and warm.
Okay. That was your intention. You do create this illusion of a chapel, except what created was far different than what you intended.
Oh no, I got blinskied.
The windows are shattered. The bits of rock are torn off of it. And from behind it, you see a graveyard where corpses crawl out of the ground.
Yeah, I'm going to dispel that immediately.
Listen, it's not your fault.
Damn it. I like the picture. It's like, okay, well, I'm going to give them a little pat on the back. I'm going to tell them that it will be fine, and accidentally cast Dissonant Whispers.
No, it's a strange feeling. It feels like you started casting something, and then it stopped being you for a second. Not like you were possessed, but it stopped being your spell.
Yeah, I'd shake my head and go, damn, I apologize. Perhaps it would be best if we just went. You'll get to see it in person, and you could judge when you get there.
The kids are just clinging on to Baishra's. That's it. By the way, did you just tell him that Avril's dead?
I assume he can get the gist of that if we're mentioning people's names and suddenly.
Yeah, it's definitely in the context.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm not gonna just like shake my cloak out and go, "This is our former friend and my former warden. He's dead now."
Which is funny because he doesn't know.
He's my former warden. Also, we had an agreement where if Avril was murdered, then I would get a year's supply of youth. But the fact that Avril's murdered and I'm getting he was my warden, I'm sure that's any court would overlook that.
I'd probably ask Rosalind what she would want to do with Avril.
Listen,
I was gonna say about that when we get time. But right now, she'd probably say, before we go anywhere, I'm gonna need a change of clothes.
Yeah. So there's two parts of every crime, Baishra. There's motive and opportunity. Just saying. Just saying.
My opportunity is the entire time I'm in Barovia, and my motive is freedom and sweet, sweet rippling abs.
And dinner.
Yeah. Anyway,
there's no one in this place, no freaking zone of truth. No one. God damn it.
Avril might have at one point.
He's
Wait,
dead
how
now.
much of this conversation is happening in real time?
Anything mentioning actual zone of truth be not in character, because I don't think Baishra even knows that exists.
What?
Yeah.
I thought Avril's mentioned it. Like, we're going to the next city, and they
Well,
probably
yeah,
have Zone of
for
Truth
trial.
there. No, he's
I know
mentioned
I know.
for Zone of Truth. That's like one of the main goals we were transferring.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
They have magic that can compel you to say the truth. That would have been something you guys talked about.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Because that
Well, in
would
that case.
Yeah, that would have exonerated you because you know that it was self-defense, even if it was really brutal self-defense.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, not much of that was in character, like almost at all. For me,
And
anyways.
As far as what we're gonna do with Avril, probably what the Levy of Faith would do. Mike would know more about that since he's the one who made the Levy of Faith.
Why don't you just ask Avril?
I don't have to speak with dead.
I'm asking his god.
Yeah, I don't think God is going to answer you here.
Mike is his god.
Something's gonna answer.
Uh-huh.
So
The shadows whisper, eat his flesh.
the current
Where is
plan
Ron?
is what? You guys are going to go to Velaki, drop the kids off. What is if Uza goes in by himself? What are the rest of you doing?
I need to clean my clothes.
Well,
That's
there's a
where I'm
stream
going next.
somewhere, I imagine.
So that's where I'd go.
Dunk it in, comes out with more blood.
You guys are here. If you wanted to go, you could always go up to the lake.
Which we know is bad.
But we also haven't checked it out.
Yeah,
That is
we,
true.
we do need to get something going. Maybe we can get a lead. Someone could heard about the
Where's
wizard.
Matthias when you need him?
Oh,
Hell.
no,
What?
What?
I don't know any of the leads that your characters are following.
Mike,
we'd probably
you
mention
do
them.
know all. You know all information. Know because you've been a Barovian.
Okay.
So you know about the devil. You know Strahd von Zarevich. You know he lives in
Yep.
Castle Ravenloft. You know he's a vampire. You know that they say that he's a curse placed on the land because of a sin. You know about vampires resting in coffins during the day and summoning creatures and transforming. You know that they can't enter a residence without an invitation and that running water burns them. You know that you can't leave this place. You know that you are not the first ones to have been drawn here. You know that others have been drawn before you. These people were drawn, and then others will be drawn after. You know information about all the towns. You also know that a mad wizard haunts the foothills of Mount Baratok.
Well, I'm yeah. Uza is very much kind of tending towards the
Ingratiating himself with us?
well, like that because he doesn't want to see a repeat of what happened to him, but also it's still his hope that if he can deal with the werewolves, then A, it might also get you guys into the city he's most familiar with, but B, it might be a way out.
If it'll get us into Kresk, I'm ready for anything.
Because if nothing else, it'll at least, if you guys aren't welcome in any city in the area, then finding shelter would be the priority, is
Yeah.
my thinking.
Yeah.
And even better if we can find a way to get Irina in there.
We gotta kill an extra werewolf.
I look at it and go, who?
Arrogant Master's daughter.
Barovia.
Just
The
every time I ask
Isaac's
for explanation,
obsession.
just say Barovia.
Okay, so what is the actual plan? Because at this point, you guys are.
I have no idea.
Actual plan would be to drop the kids off at the church, in Velaki. Uza will walk them in. They were recovered from from the witches who lived in the tower prior to burning it down, or who were in the White House prior to burning it down.
Windmill.
Windmill.
White House.
What did I say?
You
I
said
heard
White
White
House, but I heard White House.
I also
Why do I
heard
keep saying-
White House.
Why do I keep saying Lighthouse? Anyway,
'Cause you're
don't know.
drunk.
so once we do that, Yeah, if the next plan is securing basic shelter and finding way access into the city, then I say we deal with the werewolves. Take their heads. Yeah. We take their heads and then use them to get into Kresk.
Now
we can plan our next move.
the next question is this. We can't exactly walk our friend Avril into Vallaki right now. Does Kresk have a sanctified church?
Well, I
You
mean,
can't walk who?
there is a point we can make. Our cart's still in Vallaki. He has a horse. Maybe he could bring the cart out with him. I mean, who's gonna? Sure, they might be like, "Hey, that's not your cart." It's like, how do you know? We don't. But still, the cart's there. You can probably get the cart, and then we can put the dead body in the cart, and then cover it or something. I don't know.
You know, of all the places to bury him, it'd probably be safest to bury him in Vallaki.
Probably.
We could probably have Hyacinth or Rosalind fly and drag him in.
Maybe his bones would help extra sanctify the place.
Okay, so we're also going to drop off Avril for a burial?
It would be
Yeah.
better. than
Rosalind
leaving
would want to
around
be
here.
there, so
Okay.
as long as she found a place to clean off her clothes.
I'm sure the church would have like a well outside or something.
I don't want to walk through a town. It's like, hey, we're supposed to be happy. Oh my God, you're making us sad because you're covered in blood.
Why would you be walking? I said fly. You're still a notable person.
Okay. Sorry, I'm looking at something.
I know, but I mean,
Wild.
I don't think fly would last. How long does fly last?
10 minutes.
It might, especially since it's like 60 feet.
If the place is so dangerous that you guys are worried about just being spotted might be a problem, then just let me handle it. I'll take care of it.
I'm gonna size you up. How muscular are you?
Oh, baby. Not.
And what armor was Avril wearing again?
Oh. Hold on. It's been about, what, an hour and a half?
Mhm.
No, we're closing in about 2 hours. Yeah. Okay. You guys are still discussing what your plans are. You see a very familiar sight off in the distance.
Is it Gaunt Guy again?
It is not Gaunt Guy.
Is it Strahd?
It is a nightmare. Riding from soaring through the air from the east.
Remind me to apologize to my horse for what I did in my pants while sitting on top of it.
This is the first time, Mike. This is the first time you've seen. But this is unmistakably the Devil Strahd riding atop
seen his
an
face
actual
on the
literal
money.
nightmare.
Maybe he'll
I'm
drink
gonna
the
g-
blood off my clothes.
I'm gonna growl out a not again.
What do you mean, not again? What are you...
It's been very complicated here.
Really?
We've met
He,
the devil before.
You see the Devil Strahd. He lands about 50 feet away from you guys.
I think we've become his new playthings.
I can
think?
make it.
He's carrying with him a sack.
I'm gonna tell the children to get behind me.
I can't move.
He
Fucking...
he reaches into his bag
Mm-hmm.
and he pulls out Morgantha's
what?
head.
Oh.
Oh?
He tosses it over your way. It lands at your feet.
Rosalind literally has no words. She both hates him and currently loves him at the moment.
He speaks out. He says, "She took something that was mine."
Oh.
Avril's oath Claims another kill.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't even just.
What?
Okay,
Yeah.
Uza has no idea what
What's
to make
up?
of this. He's terrified.
What?
Hi.
Why are you yelling at me?
You deserve it.
Only on the inside.
Sorry.
Well,
Becky was yelling into me. Strahd calmly walks towards you.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I'd probably take a couple of steps instinctively backwards, just...
I'm gonna stand my ground and stay in front of the children, but I am not gonna make the same mistake of attacking him again.
Yeah, I
Rosalind,
hope you learned your lesson.
He looks to you. He says, "Ah, finally decided to come out of hiding. Maybe this group will bring out your potential." He turns back to you, Beishra. He says, "You have something that belongs to me."
Oh.
Oh. Oh.
I'm gonna ask him what need he has for meat.
He says, "It's mine."
we have to give him a proper burial, as is the
That-
laws of the Levy of Faith.
He looks to you. He says, "Or would you prefer to incur his death?"
If you can imagine a lizard having a look of foul distaste, Beishra would have it.
He says, "Your choice is simple. Either Rosalind, you owe me a debt, or I take Avril."
Wow, this is
Just let it go.
There's definitely got to be a long pause
Listen,
while she thinks about it.
Deep words of wisdom came from Beishra, as always. What use have you for meat? I love that you...
She'd
fought
probably,
Forrest
like,
Gump
hang her
as
head
you
and then
were
ask what
right.
he plans to do with Avril's corpse.
Again, he says, "That is for me. For you."
Rosalind will look at the group and gauge how they feel about the situation.
Oh, I said just let him go.
He reaches
And then
into...
she just let him take Avril.
He reaches back into the bag and he pulls out a wine bottle. He says, "I believe this is owed to you." He walks up to you, Beishra.
A wine bottle.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wonder what's in that.
Youth poison.
You got mother's youth.
Oh,
It turns you into a 40-year-old.
I'm gonna
saggy breasts.
I'm gonna look at the bottle and say I assume that's from the pact with the hags.
This is the very same. Be
Give
careful,
to Avril.
though.
He'll stop being dead, right?
No,
he says,
just turn into a
he
dead
hands it to you. He
fetus.
says, "Be careful, though. These things have side effects."
Like what? If you could
He
enlighten me.
smiles and he reaches for the body.
I'm gonna unbundle it from my cloak first.
Just rips your clothes off. These are mine now. Oh man.
I am going to let out a small growl and say, "It is meat. I have no need for it."
He looks to the rest of you. He lifts up Avril's corpse. He says, "Are there any personal effects you would like to keep? Any mementos?"
I'm gonna look at Rosalind.
Rosalind, please take all his money.
I'm gonna take all the money, his mace, because it's fancy, and probably everything that has to do with the Levy of Faith. So,
Honestly,
like his
if you
shield
just
and
cut
stuff.
if you just cut his pack loose and grab his weapon belt, you'll have everything.
Also
Right.
take his balls.
Because the only thing with that was associated with the Levy of Faith is his shield. which would have pretty solidly dropped when he hit the floor.
Oh yeah.
Wait a minute, his weapon would just be sitting on the floor also.
Yeah, make sure that stuff's gathered up. Everything with the Levy of Faith and, anything of value.
Yeah, well,
Probably
shields are
keep it-
strapped on, so that's probably glued to your arm for a little bit.
None of us can really make use of the armor that he had, right?
No.
No.
So, yeah.
That depends.
Well, I mean,
Unless
we
wanna-
could try selling
no.
it,
Nah.
Yeah, no.
but no.
Okay, you cut off his pouch. Take his effects.
Oh, come on.
Then also
don't
cut off his
emasculate
belt.
Me.
You cut off his belt. He turns and walks back toward the horse with Avril slung over his shoulders.
Uza almost gets a word out.
He turns to. He says, "Do better than last time, would you?"
Is that to Uza or to all of us?
To Uza.
Mm-hmm.
He drapes Avril's lifeless body over the nightmare, still patiently standing that 50 feet away.
Patiently being a nightmare.
He nods to you and takes off.
Man, Strahd sure does make things complicated, but also makes things so much simpler.
I was thinking about it. I was like, man, what would he do? Like, Mike just gave him an oath.
Uh-huh.
Like,
We're gonna have to kill.
It's so perfect.
We're gonna have to kill Avril again. I know it.
There's no way we won't. I mean,
Also,
it's too good of
Rosalind's
a
grabbing
setup.
Morganza's head.
Yeah.
All yours.
Taking it with us.
Hey, we're up to 2 heads.
Happily.
Which I hear are better than 1.
But anyways, Mike, what were you saying before? You got kind of overridden.
Oh, I can't remember. So I was gonna say,
I think I was mostly laughing at the circumstance because it's just
It's insane.
it'd be whack, yo.
Yeah.
no, Mike, this
But also, yeah.
your debt
Uh-huh.
being paid with your dead body is probably better than how you would have had to pay the debt.
Probably.
Blowjobs.
That depends how much of his personality remains after whatever happens. Because I assume he's gonna get
Listen,
revived
This
horribly.
would not be the first time I've had a character come back from the dead and murder a party member.
It's upsetting if that's true.
Uh-huh. Oh man, it was a great murder too.
What was it? What was it?
You
A mummy?
rarely
Was it a mummy lord?
No, it was a mummy we were fighting, just a regular mummy. But the problem was anyone who died in proximity reanimated as a specter. And so I asked if I could roleplay my specter, and the very first thing I did was move up to the only survivor of the party, a nat 20 on him.
Why didn't you let me kill you? You could have roleplayed a specter again. Because that's what I make.
I'm gonna just look to Uza and say, unfortunately, he seems to keep tabs on us. He nearly killed me.
Uza, I know you caught it, but it bears repeating. He mentioned that you came out of hiding.
Yeah. No,
Nice.
I
He's the devil's Strahd. He's got to keep tabs on all of. Ugh.
Since when? Why are we so significant?
We're outsiders.
We're wild cards.
I suddenly rethink my desire to go and find some Vistani to
Strangle.
ask some questions of. Well,
I'm gonna gather the kids back up, I guess.
The kids are. Actually, I'll tell you what. Roll me a perception. If you Beisha, if you get lower than a 5, none of you are going to notice them.
Ha!
They tried to actually run, and you basically caught them by the scruff of their necks and held them in place as this dude came up. Because as scary as he is, like if you run, like you are guaranteed dead. Like kids in the woods with wolves, like there's no.
Oh yeah.
Because he's a vampire. He's a functional predator. So if you run, you're just gonna trigger a chase instinct.
That's how I feel. But yes, mine.
Well, no, like if they get away from you and they run into the woods, like, all right, cool. Like, you did it. You're now away from the only people who can protect you, you know?
Like a hero.
The only true hero in this place died.
Oh, I just like to picture like as Strahd's carrying me away. All of a sudden, his dead face blushes a little bit.
Why are you making it weird?
Once again,
She's
I'm
a
gonna
man now. She can make such distinctions.
Well, I'm gonna crouch down and just mutter to the children, "Stay with us. Death is in the woods."
Death is here.
Anyway,
Death is
so
most
now that
places.
we're through that horribleness,
Time to put some children in the church.
Yes, let's get let's get out of here.
I'm so happy that here's the thing, that oath saved Bayshore once. And it just fucking decapitated a night hag. There's gonna be some horrible repercussions later, but for right now, I like the story of Avril is a good one.
Avril gained a level while he was dead. Because that was a milestone.
So, to Valaki, we'll explain everything.
Yep.
All right.
uh,
And
You
of
guys,
course, I am taking a swig of my swag right now. I am taking some youth juice.
you find that not much comes out when you swig. Only one mouthful, despite trying to guzzle it.
A decanter of endless juice.
You
Correct.
can't get any more out of it. You can only get one mouthful. You can hear that there's still some in there, but you can't get it out.
Ah, rationed. That's clever for a witch.
As you guys walk, you notice Vaishra's features changing. His skin tightens. His characteristic hunch straightens out.
I am now freaking giant, because without the hunch, he's 7 foot tall!
Yeah,
I for a brief
it's
moment,
weird.
I'd look at that and go, "What did you just drink? Why did you drink that?"
Youth. The only thing the witches made that was any use to me.
The witches made that. The ones that I point to the severed head. Those witches.
We have another one right here if you want it. Rosalind pulls the other one out of the satchel.
Ah, you're like Eodane. You have a gore bag now.
Gross. Let's get these kids somewhere. This is horrifying enough without.
Yeah, let's
imagining.
get them away from us too. before we
Rosalind
traumatize
currently is a
them
gore
more.
bag.
It's true.
Why don't I have prestidigitation to help
Why don't
wash
you?
your ass?
Why isn't Matthias here to clean me off?
All right, you guys approach. You guys approach Valaki. What are you actually going to do? Are you guys going to stay really far away? Are you guys going to try to circle around and only use a what's the plan?
I would probably say we're staying at the edge of the outlying village on the outskirts of the city, just where there's no patrols and if someone sees us, who gives a damn? Because it's still going to be a jog to any kind of guard post.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
sounds good.
And they'd run out of arrows if they shot everything they don't like.
Yeah, it's true.
That's
It's
a way.
very true.
That's a life motto right there.
Okay,
And
so
absolutely. Fuck the walkers and their dinner invitation.
Oh yeah, with how long we were hanging out there, would it be safe to assume there was a short rest at some point?
yeah, you guys can
Yay.
functionally be long rested. I
I
don't
just like
mind
to
giving that
picture,
to you guys when you gain a level.
Yay.
I just like to
Alrighty.
picture the first time somebody says, "Look, to hell with the dinner reservation." You just hear a mournful wail from the nightmare flying away.
No, Avril will be there. But
He's propped up at the table.
Rosalind
No, he's going to come back as some kind of undead
Holy
nightmare.
shit! No, if anything, knowing Ravenloft, it'd be like Rocky Horror Picture. You all sit down for dinner, and then they pull the sheet off the table, and it's fucking Avra.
He tastes so organized.
Horrible.
This is a good game.
Hey guys, guess what? I survived long enough to get Feral Instinct.
I don't know what that is.
Advantage on
Initiative?
initiative. That's the one. Yeah.
Excellent. On your walk, so you guys are gonna walk. Point me to what your plan is. You're gonna go to Vallaki. You're going to have you guys wait on the eastern outskirts. Or are you guys gonna just cut through the woods around, or are you gonna cut around?
No, we can just wait on the outskirts somewhere nearby, out of range of the patrols and probably off the main road, just a little bit, and then I'll take myself and Chrysor. We'll take the kids into town. We can drop them. I'll drop them off at the church, and then I'll meet up back with you guys.
Okay. You guys have a random encounter. Random encounters.
So it's a picture on the random encounter table. You summon 3d6 dire wolves. If there's any children with the party, double that number. If they're holding any limbs belonging to any hags, double that number for each limb.
As you guys are walking, the sound of snapping twigs draws your attention to several dark shapes in the fog. They carry torches and pitchforks.
Shit.
Now you have a chance because it's starting to get into evening. You see them before they see you. Do you guys want to confront them, or do you want to hide?
We've got kids. I suggest we stay out of.
My
Yes.
vote is hide.
What did we see? I didn't hear that. I heard
Angry
pitchforks.
mob. Angry mob. Torch and pitchforks.
Mm-hmm.
But dark shape, so we don't know what kind of angry mob.
Yeah. Okay. Rosalind would hide then.
Yeah.
Give me some stealthy checks.
Nope. I trip over a goddamn log.
I wish I was still a man.
Okay.
Oop, accidentally unclicked that.
I'm good at stealth. Damn it.
I'm not.
Jesus.
No, it's hard to. The kids basically give you away.
Except for me.
You know why?
There are 13 people in this mob. They see you and point to you guys.
Hello?
Hello.
They say it's them.
Great. They got freaking angry mobs. Oh, we're being freaking. Alright, I get it.
Who's them?
They say, Isaac has been tearing this place up looking for. You have to come with us.
Isaac.
I'm drawing my spear.
Why doesn't
We have
Isaac
no
come to
intentions
us?
of coming to you. With him. With you, to him.
How grouped together? How grouped together
Honestly.
are they?
You guys said you're not coming with them. They get uncertain looks on their faces.
Say, I could drop a hypnotic pattern and not even have to kill them.
Yeah, I'm going
If you're gonna
non-
do that, I say
They're
just
basically
do a
in
fight.
one big cluster.
Can I just try and scare them off?
Sure, go for it.
I'm just gonna plant my fucking spear in the ground tip first and say, I'll go with you when I'm dead, and start just fucking that nice little alligator growl.
Make that intimidation.
Here goes! God damn it, I'm so average.
Well, if I can help,
They're very obviously scared of you guys. Like, they had strength in numbers, but now that they're looking at you, you kind of see nervous looks. Their once confident voices are now a little wavering. They say, but it doesn't matter. You have to come with us. Isaac won't rest until he finds you.
Well, then he can come to us himself.
oh wait a minute, yeah, I'd walk up to him and I'd turn and say, Oh, believe me, we're well aware. In fact, we're going to him. We're going to be seeing him tonight. So you go home, go back to your families, rest. But let him know that we're coming.
I'm just gonna give Uza such a side eye.
I have a plus fucking 10!
Holy shit!
The average is strong with you.
Oh my god!
Just because Avril's dead doesn't mean you can stop being average.
Jesus Christ.
Good enough for them.
Yay!
They say, okay, but they'll come for you if you don't.
Getting such a side eye from me.
This
They
guy
turn
is
around and-
like we're afraid of him.
They turn around and very briskly walk the other way.
Man, I'm cool with Isaac coming for me. I'll fight him. I'll fuck him up. I'm sick of his shit.
Agreed.
Rosalind is genuinely happy that we don't have to fight them, and then she thanks Uza.
This goes, he has no idea who I am. Well,
Good.
I imagine my my description will circulate pretty quickly, so if you don't mind me, before we go into town, since I think we're pretty close, and as soon as they're out of sight, I'm going to very quickly throw on a very quick disguise. Switch my hair color to a bland black. Give myself some very distinguishing marks, a big wart on the nose, and as well
Fat
as
dick.
a fairly large burn scar on the neck. Basically, take on one of my regular appearances. I have as part of my my background is a
You have some go-to disguises.
yeah. So I'm gonna step into my second identity, which is of a
Hag.
essentially a traveling salesman who occasionally picks up oddities from the various cities and things like that. Most of the time, I'm just fucking lying to get through the gates.
You're Neil?
Yeah.
But
Man,
throw
you gotta-
together a quick disguise.
You gotta meet Blinsky someday.
What the actual fuck? Give me advantage on some of these.
I was
no,
gonna
that's
say if you're gonna
fine.
use a disguise kit, I could help because I'm proficient in that too. But looks like
Dang.
you're fine with an 18.
Well, either
Sorry, I'm
way.
eating pizza.
Okay. What are you doing with your mount?
I'm gonna dismiss it. That's the most iconic part of. On top of that, most people aren't aware that I can just banish my horse.
That's fair. Okay.
Oh, your horse is like my weapon.
So are you guys going to just hang out here, and he's going to walk into the city?
Yeah, sounds like it.
Okay.
I'm sure we all won't be dead by the time he comes back out.
You
Yeah, there's a good chance Toady is going to go to Isaac anyway.
We'll have war flashbacks.
Oh yeah, well that's the plan. I want them to be absolutely anticipating our party arriving, and then we're just not going to arrive. So if we can get him sitting there just waiting for us to show up, then great.
Isaac seems like a take the initiative kind of guy.
Oh, he is. He's absolutely going to be. We basically just either he might see through the bluff, like they might have failed the check, but he might suspect that was a bluff, and if it was, then he'll be out checking the roads. If he didn't, then he'll be fortifying his local defenses, like probably around the manor house. But either way, we're just hitting the. Oh,
I'm
sorry,
sure.
what were you saying?
Hold on.
What?
Like,
Everything's cutting out.
AJ said, "Wait, give me a minute or something."
That was chewing. I'm sorry. Okay. How long does a disguise kit take?
I don't know.
Why don't you?
Okay. You probably get into the town about 30 minutes after the villagers do. You see 3 of the villagers with their heads on spikes.
Oh shit!
They're currently nailing a 4th one.
Isaac is a dickhead.
yeah.
Just putting that out there.
I might be reassessing my priorities.
I'm glad
Please
Rosalind is
don't.
there to see that.
The guards say, Whoa, who goes there?
I've been here before in this disguise, so, good evening. It is, let's go with, what's a good Barovian name?
Neil.
Piss.
Hold up.
Vlad Tepes.
Okay.
You are not Dracula.
There you go. That's your name.
I like that name.
How do you pronounce the first part?
Piotr.
It's basically it's basically Peter. It's Piotr Tresnovich. There you go.
Okay, yeah.
Peyote.
They give a sideways glance at you. They say,
What
"Did you pass them?"
Pass? Oh, yes, I happened to spot a large rabble of very upset-looking people. Is everything all right?
He looks at the heads. He looks at you.
Listen, I don't know. For all I know, that they're traitors turned bandits.
He says, "If you know where those traitors are, and you try to lie to Isaac, where are they?"
Those traitors? No, sir. Forgive me. I meant, well, look up at the heads and go, those fellows. I was indicating that I walked by the mob. I saw the mob. I didn't see the traitors.
He says, "On with your business, then." The other one looks. He says, "Wait. Those kids."
Yes, sir. Yes. You've never met. This is Ivana. Unfortunately, her mother passed. Sickness in childbirth. It's very tragic. And this older one is, I need another fucking Barovian name.
Piss flap.
That's Vlad. This is Vlad. I had hoped that they might find some shelter here. I'm afraid I'm not stationary enough myself to support, children. I certainly couldn't expect them to travel with me.
Give me a deception.
Come on.
Don't
Nat
fuck
20.
up.
Nat 20, man.
What the actual fuck?
At least one of them was a nat 20.
Oh my god! I'm just talking out my ass here, and I can feel another universe version of me breezing through life on a cloud of 20s.
He says, "Okay. Did you lose them on the way here?"
Who? What, the
There's
kids?
kids.
What do you... Sorry. I think I misunderstood something.
He says, "Did you lose them on the way here?
Were
Were they not with you?"
Sorry. No, I'm curious to... I don't understand what's being asked. The kids are right next to me right now, aren't they?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, no, it doesn't make much sense. I get it.
Did
He's
I
asking
lose
you that. Were they not with you?
on the journey?
Yes,
Oh, certainly.
because those kids look just like the kids we were told were with the traitors.
I see. And look at them and go, wait, so the traitors have kids with them as well?
Yes.
I would actually kind of
The other one looks over and it's like, "Are you sure those are the same kids? We didn't see them." He goes, "Yeah, I guess kids are just kids." All right, just go.
I give kind of a quick, as I'm walking by, a shudder to think such barbarous types abducting children in the night. I wish you the best of luck. I will give you any information that I have. Good hunting, sir.
As you walk, you see the pile of heads at their feet.
Pile. Fuck.
Wow, has he killed every single search party that comes back with bad news?
Shit. He's getting all the experience. He's gonna be so strong when we fight him.
No! We finally we were out grinding.
I would lean down and say, heads up, look skyward. My, what a lovely day it is.
No, the heads are on the ground.
No, I'm talking to the fuck you. I'm talking to the kids. I don't want them staring down at a grotesque pile of
This
heads.
town is in fucking disarray.
How long have we been gone from this town? Like a day?
A day.
Jesus fuck!
Windows are open. A couple doors lay hanging off of a hinge.
I really wish that I had come back with like an assassin type character, just so we could step out from the shadows in his room and just go, "All will be well."
People are quit walking very quickly, only having the faintest of smiles on their face. Basically, this town looks like ransacked.
It looks okay. Jesus. Well, I'm just gonna make as quick of a pathway as I possibly can to the to find the church.
Okay. The church. You get up to the church, and there are scorch marks.
Oh boy.
Oh shit.
And the church is boarded from the inside.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm not surprised Isaac went after someone he knew was helping us at some point.
I approach the door and give it kind of a hard knock. Father, are you in there?
You hear nothing.
Try one more time. Please. We've come all the way from Kresk. We have nowhere else to turn to. What's happening? Surely a place of sanctuary is never closed to the lands where it's needed most. To those in the lands where it's needed most.
You hear the sound of wood being peeled off of the inside. The door gets pushed open. Father, I think was it Lucian here?
Yeah.
I get the names mixed up. Thank you. Father Lucian summons you in. Hurry!
Duck inside. Father, what's happened here?
He says, "It's Isaac. There was a group of outsiders. They took someone from him, snuck out. He's gone crazy. He's tearing everything apart, looking for anyone that has helped them. Any information. All semblance of normalcy in this town is gone. A group just came back flabbergasted. Someone saw them and told him that they would come here. Some poor innocent fools got tricked into thinking that they would return. And Isaac was so furious he killed them all. All of them. Isaac was so demanded that their heads be placed on pikes as an example.
Where's the burgomaster? Why does he not intervene? Surely such wanton slaying of his subjects would not be acceptable.
The burgomaster's dead.
This is actually horrifying. I'm not even fucking bluffing right now.
I mean, we didn't tell you that.
Yeah, they did tell you.
I guess it is still technically bluffing.
Yeah, he says the town found out about it today. Isaac said that the party killed him.
He would.
Naturally. These wayfarers. But why assault the church? I don't understand. Surely
I was a friend of theirs. He came for me, but this church, it's holy ground. His monstrous form couldn't enter.
Oh,
that's some good information.
He says
the
fucking evil arm.
The guards were had too much humanity left in them to burn the place down themselves. He threw some of his fire, it flicked at the walls, but I think he's just waiting for his opportunity.
My. The guards, they follow this man. I've never met him myself. Only heard talk, rumor.
Isaac is the right-hand man of the Burgomaster. He's a cruel, evil fellow with a demonic, fiendish arm that spews fire.
I see.
He used to just be a henchman, but in the past few days, he's completely taken over.
I kind of lean in close, say, I've never been one for, foolish bard's tales, but, this is something straight from the realm of nightmare. Burgomaster dead, and within days, his right hand immediately starts taking up arms against his citizens. Has he gone mad? Or has he always been so?
He gives you a look. It's hard to tell here.
Well,
What of these children?
my apologies, Father. I hate to bring them to you at such a dire hour. Let me actually take a second to think. These children are without family, and they are utterly alone in this world. I myself, well, I doubt that they're, nah. I cannot bring myself to take them on my travels with me, for not only have I no home to call my own, but I fear they would soon find themselves food for the buzzards on the roadside. You know, lean in close for that part. I don't want to say that in front of the kids automatically.
He looks to you, he says, "You're a strange one. Who are you?"
Jesus.
I would say, you have caught me. My name is Petir. Petir, hold on, let me scroll up to find it.
Tresnovich.
Tresnovich. Since I've had time to sort of ingratiate myself into this, I've had like 2 years here. Let me talk a little bit more about this alternate identity that I put together. Essentially, I found a family, I picked a noble family from history. One that was entirely wiped out. How they were wiped out doesn't matter. I would lean in and I would say, I am Petir Tresnovich. I was, my family name once held some renown and fortune, in better days, but as of late, I'm afraid, well, I'm the last survivor of my clan.
He says, "Ah, you are from Berez, then."
Naturally. Are you familiar with the place?
He says, "Only stories."
I'll be right back. I gotta pee. Oh.
Well, rumors make up the life of this, rumors are great for tavern. Well, hold on, let me try a different line. Sorry, I'm trying to think of banter that's in Barovian character. Yeah, I was actually, okay, there we go. It would be, rumors in Barovia. More like horror stories. What have you heard?
He says, "The same that we all do," which I'll say as soon as Derek is back.
Oh, okay. I was just like, make sure we just keep tap dancing around it. Yes, those people, what they say. Oh, the things they say, am I right? Yeah, you're right, man, the things they say. It actually turns out he's in disguise as well. We're just zigzagging bluffs.
Sure is D&D.
Sure is D&D in here.
Sure is.
D&D in here.
Well,
What the fuck?
E.
I don't.
What?
Sorry, I'm twittering while I come back.
Welcome back. Did you make it? You sound like you were in a hurry.
Yeah. It's been building up since Strahd showed up, and I was like, okay, I gotta go now.
So he said, "What have you heard of it?" Speaking of Perez, he says, "It was a village, of course. Were you a child then when it happened?"
so I picked this. Do I actually have any, like, in character? Do I have any idea about what actually happened to this place? Or just that it was all
you can know basically what
everyone else knows.
It's south of this town is a village of Perez. And from the rest of you, you guys were told to go to the ruined Perez. This was where one of those gems were.
Right
Ah.
It's been abandoned for decades. The legend is that the burgomaster committed some terrible offense and incurred the wrath of Strahd.
Yeah, I would swallow hard and say, yes, indeed I was. I found shelter among the clergy. I worked hard for many years until I was able to go off on my own. Thus, well, why I thought to bring these kids here. And that is a bold-faced lie.
Make an advantage deception check.
There you go.
Over double
Where
that
advantage
one.
doesn't matter.
Fuck. Does Father Lucian even have a sheet? He may not even have a sheet. If he doesn't have a sheet, it's bullshit.
It's bullshit.
There you
Stop.
go. Better version.
Oh, hold on. It just says he's this. Okay, hold on.
I will never get tired of that gif.
He is just a priest. So let's see. Ooh.